talking about.
Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. This week, the White House celebrated Easter, and the president began a week-long trip to Asia, while the First Lady and Dr. Biden hosted a career forum on veterans' jobs. That's April 18th to April 24th, or POTUS Dreams of Sushi. The President and First Lady started out the week by welcoming more than 30,000 guests to the South Lawn for the 136th annual White House Easter egg roll.
It is so wonderful to have so many of you here. Today we are celebrating the 136th Easter egg roll. There it goes. So you all just enjoy. That's all you have to do from this point on is have fun. And we'll be down there to participate in the egg roll. President's gonna read, I'm gonna read a little bit.
I mean, gnash their terrible teeth. Let's hear those. I'm trapped by all these wild birds.
Having a great day at the White House with the Easter egg roll, and definitely I got invited to this event, and well, it went amazing. Got to meet Michelle Obama, and one of my dreams come true.
On Tuesday, the president took off on an 8-day, 4-country trip to Asia, stopping domestically first in Oso, Washington, to view the devastation from the recent mudslide and meet with the families affected by this disaster, as well as first responders and recovery workers who have worked so hard to help rebuild that community. On Wednesday, the First Lady and Dr. Biden traveled to Fort Campbell, Kentucky for the Veterans Jobs Summit and Career Forum. They announced a new online tool that will revolutionize how veterans and military family members find jobs in both the public and private sector. If you're a veteran, all you have to do is log on to ebenefits.va.gov. That evening, the president touched down at his first stop on the trip in Tokyo, Japan. He met up with Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, who invited the president for sushi at the renowned Sukiyabashi Jiro. Many regard its owner and master chef, 89-year-old Jiro Ono, as the world's best sushi chef.
Thank you. That's some good sushi right there.
On Thursday, the president began his first full day in Japan at the Imperial Palace, where he met with Emperor Akihito. Then he met with Prime Minister Abe at Akasaka Palace, where they held a bilateral meeting and a news conference.
I've said many times, the United States is and always will be a Pacific nation. America's security and prosperity is inseparable from the future of this region, and that's why I've made it a priority to renew American leadership in the Asia-Pacific.
Later, the president traveled to Miraikan Science and Youth Expo, where he met with students, received a message from the space station, and got hands-on with some of the technology on display.
That's outstanding.
He then traveled to the Meiji Shrine, a Shinto shrine that is dedicated to the deified spirits of Emperor Meiji and his wife, Empress Shokin. Here, the president also saw a display of traditional Japanese horseback archery.
Performance.
But before we say sayonara, remember, follow the rest of the trip with us on White House social media, and as always, at whitehouse.gov.
Nice shoes, too. Yeah.
You're not nervous, are you?
No, well,
beating me and stuff.
Well, those look kind of sharp. That's the only thing I'm worried about.
You know? Oh,
you could hurt somebody.
Yeah, they through security.